Prairie View fourth graders, Mr. Teets here again. Welcome to day 2 of realistic fiction, where we study that genre and the different characteristics that show up in realistic fiction stories. To do a quick review, the main characteristics that we look for when we read a realistic fiction story is the point of view, which, if you remember, is a first person or third person. First person being someone telling it who's in the story, and a third person's a narrator. Authentic settings, meaning where and when the story takes place, the fact that they are places that we have been to, that are real places. You're not going to read a realistic story about a bunch of aliens from Venus, okay? Because that would not be realistic. So we want to have authentic or realistic settings, things that could actually, places that could actually take place. The next one is characters, where we study the characters, how they react with others, what we learn about them, and how they learn within the story. And then there's conflict and resolution. The conflict being a problem that happens, and a resolution is how that character works through that problem. The conflict can be the character with himself. It can be with nature. It can be with other characters as well. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be reading a story called Bike Tour to Comanche, and I will be going over with you the different characteristics of realistic fiction, and then you will be assigned a story to read yourself that you will then also talk about the characteristics of realistic fiction as well. So let's get started here. This story is called Bike Tour to Comanche. And again, be paying attention as I'm reading for the different characteristics of realistic fiction. The road stretched ahead. I didn't know how much longer I could pedal my bicycle. I was thirsty and needed to stop under some shade to catch my breath. My legs ached too. Mom and Dad said it would be fun to go on a bike tour from Billings to Comanche. That's in the great wide open state of Montana, for all you city slickers who don't know. It's only 22.6 miles, they said. Only? I pedaled like a madman until I could pedal no more. I'm pooped, Dad, I said, slowing down. I need a rest. Rest when you're asleep, Dad said, hunched over his handlebars. I grabbed my water bottle and drank for a ways. Water always helps when you're exercising. When we got to Comanche, we ate lunch. It was just turkey sandwiches with lettuce and tomato, but it was the most delicious sandwich I ever tasted. So, the different characteristics that we look for in realistic fiction are point of view, characters, authentic setting, where and when it takes place, and then a conflict and resolution. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to use a different graphic organizer to help us do that. Okay, so the Bike Tour to Comanche is the story that we read. You're going to be reading a story called The Water Slide and filling out this half of the graphic organizer. And I will be filling out the Bike Tour to Comanche. First question is point of view. And as you remember, point of view is either a first person or a third person based on how the story is told. And this one, if we look back at it, I didn't know how much longer I could pedal my bicycle. When we see that, we know that that is what is called a, sorry about that, having a little trouble getting my text box to work. Come on. All right, hang on, folks, sorry. Technology is not Mr. Teets's strong suit like it is Mrs. Griffey's and Mr. Berkelman's. All right. There we go. So when there is an I in the story, that makes it a first person point of view. Okay, because the person is in the story. Now the setting, I want to look at, the setting is an authentic setting. Where does the story take place? And it says that they are going on a bike trip in, I believe they said, they were telling all you city slickers that this setting was Montana. Now, is that an authentic setting? Well, is Montana a real state? Yes, it is. And if you looked it up, Billings and Comanche are also cities in Montana. So we know that it is an authentic, real setting. Now, the main character is the next thing we're going to look at. Main characters, okay? The main character, they don't really give us his name. They say I, but we're not going to write down I. We'd have to figure out, is he a boy or a girl? Let's see. My legs ached. They said it'd be fun. Rest when you're asleep. So we know that it's a kid, at the very least, who is biking with his parents. So if we're going to do the characters of the story, this bugs me. Why doesn't that work? Why does it do that? All right, let's just do this. Okay. It is mom, dad, and kid. I guess we don't know if it's a boy or girl. So that is our main characters. Now the problem is, if we look back for how he was talking about the bike trip, he didn't know how much longer he could go. He was thirsty. He wanted to catch his breath. His legs hurt, and so on. So the problem is that this kid is a whiner. No, I'm just kidding. Out of shape. Maybe that too. I'm kidding again. But we know that his problem is that there we go. The kid legs hurt and he needs to rest from biking. So that is the problem that the kid is going through, experiencing in this story. Okay, so the solution is, well, his dad, I guess, pretty much just said, all right, buck up, kid, and let's go. You can rest when you're sleeping. Probably not exactly what the kid wanted to hear, but you know what? That's how it goes sometimes. If parents listen to every time their kids whined about something, then nothing would ever get done, right? No, I'm just joking. That's maybe just my own kids. Anyway, the solution is that the kid kept biking, and then they had lunch. And him going through that and experiencing that ended up helping him, and he had a more of an enjoyable trip that way. So again, point of view, first person. The setting is Montana. It's authentic. It's real. The main characters are mom, dad, and the kid. And the problem is that the kid's legs hurt and he needs to rest from biking. And then the solution is he just toughed it out, which was probably really rewarding for him. And they got to eat a lunch, which he said was delicious, even though it was only a turkey sandwich. So what you're going to be doing for your assignment is you're going to be reading the water slide, and you will be filling this out on a Seesaw assignment. Thank you so much for listening today. Hope you're having a great day, and bye.